Welcome everybody to our Monday night mindset masterclass. I feel very honored, very grateful and thankful to be in this space with all of you tonight. I know that I'm technically leading this class, but I think that just collectively all being here together, we can just learn from each other and grow from each other. And I'm just really grateful to be here. So thank you all for showing up. I love seeing all of your faces. So most of you know who I am, but for those of you that don't, my name is Jessica Willis. I am just a woman trying to be a better human in this world every single day to add value to those who I come into contact with, my family, my friends. I am a mom, a wife, a friend, a daughter, a sister. I am a hair salon owner and stylist, a health and wellness mentor with Beachbody, and currently studying to get my transformational coach certificate. So, which leads me into tonight and why our topic is transformation. I have gone through a lot of transformation in my life. And so it's a topic that I just find extremely important because, like I said, transformation comes whether we like it or not. So we might as well just hit it head on and dig into what it means to go through it, accept it, and grow from it. So, like I said, I feel very honored and grateful to be here leading this call with my special guest, my new friend, Mr. Eric Bigger, fitness trainer, mindset and life coach, TV personality, and author. So, Mr. Eric, why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself, why you're here with us tonight, and a little bit about why you do what you do.
Well, thank you, Jessica. Thank you to everybody here from Beachbody and everyone joining in on this call on this beautiful Monday night, Monday evening. We're here for a reason, and thanks to Jessica and this opportunity. I always say the universe, this is why I'm here. The universe chose me for this moment. And so fitness trainer. I've been training for about 10 years, mindset and life coach, because life is all in the mind. I've done some TV things. I have 2 books. I actually have my first book I wrote through the pandemic. It's called Transformation, Change Your Mindset, Change Your Energy, Change Your Life. So this is why we're here. We got to change our mind and change our life. But more importantly, I think what's important to me is being intentional, right? Like, it's a group of people in here that's coming here for information, to be transformed, to understand. But I think when I think about transformation, I think about what is transformation. So I don't know if you guys have a pen or paper or your notes. You should write down the word transformation. I think it's very important, right? So write that down and then write down mindset. And when you think of those 2 words, what comes up? Because this is your mindset, this is your transformation, right? So it's coming from your perspective. I can give you my opinion and my perspective, but that's from my life experiences and what I believe and my belief systems from the things I've been through. But I want you to write down what transformation and what mindset means to you, right? Because everything's coming from you. So once you understand what it means, you can kind of attack what is transformation. And then, from there on, what you think of 4 pillars: love, health, wealth, and happiness, right? Those are 4 pillars. Love, love, health, wealth, and happiness. So in those 4 pillars, we all have some type of level. From a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? You could be on an 8, you could be on a 10, you could be on a 7, you can be on a 6. And maybe somewhere on this call, you want to transform that. Maybe your health and your love is there. Like, you got the relationship, you got the Beachbody down, you're listening, you're dialed in, you're getting up early, boom. But maybe you're not fulfilled. Maybe you haven't really found the financial piece or portion, right? So you might want to transform that. So when I spoke with Jess a week ago, or last week, we talked about this call and we wanted to talk about, and I said, I think the most important thing for all of us, including myself, Let's take the money away. Let's take opportunity away. Let's take love away. Let's take everything away, right? What do we value the most as individuals? Like if you have to really sit and look in the mirror and ask yourself, what do I value the most? I think we start there. And then from there, you even take it even back even further. Who am I? Right? Like, who am I? Like, if we don't know who we are, how can we transform? What are you transforming if you don't know who you are, right? Now, granted, let me give you, everyone on this call, some credit. The world is not set up for us to know who we are, right? We're not programmed or conditioned to know thyself, to know who we really are at the core. We're really programmed mostly to follow, to take directions, to listen to what the government, the teachers, the professors, our mom, all that, which is great, not knocking it. But at some point, you have to take ownership. You have to take responsibility. You got to hold yourself to a higher standard. You got to be accountable. What do I want? Who am I? What is this life about for me? So when I think about transformation, I think about, okay, I'm a person who has thoughts, who has feelings, who has emotions that want something out of life. What is that and why? Because sometimes we allow our family members, our partners, our friends to implant things in our mind about what we think we should want. And we might not want that. Mom and dad might be doctors and lawyers and maybe want the same for you, but maybe you don't want that. Maybe your spouse wants you to take this course in a class somewhere you don't really want to. So how do we own that? How do we become more authentic? How do we become more vulnerable with ourselves? And it just really starts at the root level. Who am I? And I like to say the quickest way to get to that, you have to dig deep into your spirit, right? You know, I'm all about spirituality. I'm all about meditation. But there's really a quick way to kind of get to that. And for some, it might make sense. And for some, it might not. And so there's a thing I do if I'm going through something, or if I want to get to the root of something. I learned this in NLP, neuro linguistic programming. It teaches you how to talk to your subconscious mind. And so what you do is, so say for instance, I have a question. So I think the last full moon was maybe March 17th, if I'm not mistaken, that I remember. Probably was one recent. But I went to the park, Coldwater Canyon Park, and I had 5 questions for myself. But these 5 questions was for my higher self, for my spirit. So before I answered the questions, I meditated for 10 minutes. And then with each question, I would take 3 deep breaths. So say for instance, my question is, what do I want? And I'll take a deep breath, right? And then whatever comes up, and I'll silently, like in a silent tone, answer, ask the question. Whatever comes up, I take it in, take another deep breath, ask the question again. Take another deep breath, ask the question again. And then there's a word or something that's going to come up. It's going to be very consistent. And it might be, the word might be change. You're like, what? What do I want? Change? Like change what? And you'll just let your spirit, or you let your internal system guide you to whatever that is. That's what works for me. But I think the most important thing is to really sit yourself down and ask yourself, what do I want? What do I value? And who do I think I am? Because there's a question. If you ask 90% of the people out there, who are you? Most people are going to say, I'm a mother, I'm a father, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm a trainer, I'm a life coach, I'm a TV personality, I'm an author. Okay, cool. God forbid something, bad happens and you lose a child, you lose a job, you don't have that profession. Who are you? That happened to most of us in the pandemic, right? We had our jobs stripped away from us, loved ones passed away. Like a lot of stuff was happening. We wasn't in control, but we didn't know who we were because we wasn't programmed to do that, right? So they want to rob you of your emotions because it put you through this space where you have to figure you out. And it was tough and it's challenges. And some of us are still getting over that. So that's why I think it's always important to know yourself. And that's the root to transform anything in my life. Because if you don't know what's at the root, what's in that seed at the root of your plan, it's like, what are you really planting? What is really growing on your stem? But more importantly, I just think everyone on this call is here for a reason. You will transform. You can transform. And listen, it's not about what you get out of life. It's not what you get out of your relationship. It's not what you get from beach bodies or your job or your career. It's about what you will become. because of it, right? Because some of you are going to hit your sales goals and beach bodies or wherever you got going on. You can be like, boom, I did it. But it wasn't about you getting it, right? It was what you had to become to get that. You had to become a different person. To lose 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds, you have to become a different person. You have to be disciplined. You have to be consistent. You have to hold yourself accountable. You got to go to bed on time. You got to, you have to really show up. So always know it's not what we get out of life, it's what we will become. So last question, what do you want to become? Right? What do you want to become? Like, Jess and everyone over here might want you to become something, but what do you want to become? I have my younger brother out here from Baltimore in Los Angeles, and he's older than he's 18. We didn't grow up with the same mom, but I'm asking him, like, what do you want to do? I know what I would want to take you, but you might not want that. He's like, I don't want to do that. I'm like, cool, great, do your thing. I'm not pushing my perspective on him. And you shouldn't allow someone to push their perspective on you, because that's their way of transforming. That's why you have to figure out, what is your way of transforming? Is it uncomfortable? Yes. Will it be challenging? Yes. But I always say the only way is through. If it doesn't challenge us, it doesn't change us. And guess what? It can't break us if we're willing to show up and get through it, right? So I think also transformation don't have to be so negative and harsh. It can be fun. Sometimes spiritual awakenings are uncomfortable, but you say, you know what? This is what I need, because I'm getting information, I'm gaining wisdom, I'm learning, I'm becoming more. I'm becoming my most authentic self, and I'm gaining wisdom, and I'm building character, and I'm able to share my story, and all these beautiful people on this call and in other places of the world going to know me because I went through, So for me, from my end, that's transformation in a nutshell. I don't want to speak on it, because I'm pretty sure some of you might have questions. I'm pretty sure Jessica can add value in some sense or feed off of what I'm saying, but it's really simple. It's just not easy, because it takes work, it takes sacrifice, it takes dedication, and you got to want it. Some of us want it and some of us don't, and that's okay. But make sure you want it and you'll get it. It'll take time, but it'll be worth it. And we all can transform.
I love that. And I think, what we talked about, like, sometimes transformation comes whether we want it to or not. Sometimes it blindsides us, sweeps us off our feet, where we don't even know what really happened, but we're in this space of transformation. And getting our mindset, which I believe is the hardest part, is getting our mindset right so that we can move through the transformation with grace, so that we can move through the transformation, coming through it and have grown through it. Like, putting our mindset in that space where we're open to the hard, where we're open to the uncomfortable, so that we're able to move through it and learn and grow and become better, and also be a light for somebody else that might possibly be going through something similar. So I think that he's really, we talked the other day about how important it is to know who you are, and not only to know who you are, but who you want to be, but why? And we talk about that a lot in Beachbody, right? To know our why as a coach. And it's not our why just because we want to lose 50 pounds. Why do we want to lose 50 pounds? Do we want to lose 50 pounds because we want to be an example to our daughter as what health is? Do we want to lose 50 pounds so that we can go play on the playground with her? Why do you want to lose 50 pounds? Why do you want to be able to go through your transformation with grace? Why? And I think that's a really hard thing for people to just sit down and really figure that out. So as a mindset coach, when you're working with somebody who has trouble identifying who they are and identifying their why, how do you help them navigate that?
It's a great question. I just got off a call with a client, and what it really is a blind spot, right? You can't see what you don't see, and so therefore you're not aware of what's affecting your life. So I think the first thing for most people is insecurities, right? Or when you're triggered. You know, if you know you gotta get up and do something you don't want to do, and someone is telling you they're trying to help you, why do you feel triggered? Why do you feel awful? What's causing that? And maybe you don't know. Maybe honestly, a lot of struggle and challenges internally comes from trauma from our childhood, stuff we're not aware of, things our parents put on us, our siblings, even old relationships or old coworkers or bosses. It's trauma. We've been triggered and we haven't healed from that thing to transform our life. So I think the first thing in anything is awareness, right? Is to know, like, okay, I know I have the information Jessica has provided for me. I have the resources, but why can't I move forward and get going? Why do I have a struggle with taking action? What is it? I'm confused. I'm frustrated. And then what happens is you go from that and you start putting these labels on yourself and you start talking down on yourself and you start to be negative. And then you go on a spiral and you just feel incomplete because you're thinking it's all you. And it's like, no, is there some healing that needs to take place? There's some acknowledgement of something that happened in the past that you never really talked about. And it's not that it's bad. It's just that you're not aware to know how to fix it. And so some of us, we get in these places where it's hard to transform or change, but we don't know why. It's because we don't ask the questions. Tony Robbins talks about, instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You got to ask some more empowering questions. What do I need to learn from this experience? What lessons do I take from this? How do I grow? How do I make more money? How do I have a better relationship with myself? And that's another thing. We don't have the best relationship with ourselves. So I think the number one thing in it all is awareness of the triggers, the awareness of, past trauma and pain, the awareness of what is something I can work on that I'm not working on, or what is something I'm avoiding because I don't want to sit in the truth of that. I'm afraid of that because I know if I go down that road, I got to sit with the consequence. But if you want to transform, Jessica said, it's uncomfortable. Only way is through. You got to get through, to go through. And once you go through, you can keep going. But you have to look at your fears, your insecurities, your shadow self, your dark side, your demons, whatever you want to, whatever terminology that benefits you, you have to look at it and say, you know what, I'm here. I'm going to make comfort for you. We're going to have fun, but this is not going to stop me, and use that as power and turn that pain into gain. But we all know what we should be doing. We know, but we fail to do it because some of us are afraid of success, right? And that's what transformation brings: success, momentum, progress, fulfillment, happiness. Some of us are afraid to leave our old life. Some of us are afraid to change environments and grow and be more because it is scary. It's uncertain. You don't know what's on the other side of that. You want it, but you're afraid to experience it because what am I going to do if I leave this network? So listen, I've been there. I've been thrown on national TV. I had no clue what's going on. But I was like, whatever I need to do to get through it, let's do it. Was it uncomfortable? Yes. Was I scared at times? Yes, because I didn't trust. But when I let go and surrendered, my life changed. So awareness is everything, people. Awareness.
That is so great. Yeah, I feel like a lot of awareness, when you really get down to becoming aware, it can trigger us as well. And so then those triggers start coming and then it starts to get really uncomfortable. So then we pull back and sit in the comfortable space, but is it really comfortable? Because we're not content, right? There's something inside of us. There's something brewing inside of us that we know we need to change. We know we need to grow. We know we need to transform. But it's just getting past that self-awareness and that self-acceptance to propel us into transformation. So I love that so much. We really want you guys to, if you have questions, to put them in the chat below. At the end of this call, we want to do some Q&A. So if you have anything that you want to add to this, we really want this to be an organic call. So if you have anything that you would like to say, we welcome that, absolutely. So questions or comments below for sure. When we talked the other day, you talked a little bit about like, how do we identify what some of our triggers are in order to move past that self-acceptance and self-awareness? How do we take that time to identify what some of our triggers are? Because we might not even really even know. We're so conditioned and so conditioned to our triggers that we don't even really know what they are.
Yeah, so these questions are great. I love them. How do we become aware of our triggers and when we're triggered? So I always like to take the cold shower analogy, right? You know, usually if you're not used to taking cold showers, when you get in cold water, what does your body do? When you get in the ocean and it's cold before you're not warmed up, what do? You tense, your eyes, like, so any moment in your life when someone says something or gives you feedback, or someone might be saying something from afar on social media and you don't like them, you hate them, or you have this energy that's just, I don't like this person, but you don't know why, right? That's a trigger. You're being triggered by something, a wound that's sitting there in your body. You know, Ed Hart totally talks about pain bodies, and it triggers you. And so we don't have information to understand it. So all we do is just we talk over it, or we talk bad about the person or the thing to kind of cover up what we're feeling. So I think the best way to know how you know you're triggered is your body. You know, there's a book called The Body Keeps the Score, right? And when your body is off and you feel it, or I have this book in my place called You Can Heal Your Body by Louise Hay. And in the back of this book, it literally talks about every problem you can have: thyroid, stomach problems, stiff neck, sprains. If you have like spine, and so the probable cause for your spine is flexible, supportive life. Then a new thought pattern is I'm supported by life. So everything in the body is emotional. So when we hurt our bodies, because our mind and these emotions erupting that we don't understand. So your body is definitely number one. Knowing when your body's off, and two, when you just feel uncomfortable around someone, or when someone says something, you're defensive, but you might not know why. And everybody's different, but I know the body is number one. Your body will tell you, and you're feeling how you feel. You know you're triggered, but you don't know why. Like, why did that bother me? You know, like, why? You know, and it could be like me. I had it in spaces in my time where I might be talking to someone, but they don't know I'm triggered, and I'm like, oh, why does that bother me right now? Where's this coming from? I'm asking myself questions like, okay, because what we do is we project, we point the finger. You did this, you did that, and we don't want to take responsibility. We project what we feel because that's what we're reflecting, but it's not the truth for them. That's our truth. So a relationship, partnership, you did this to me, you did that. It's like, no. This is coming from you somewhere in your body that you're not aware of, and you're triggered. So it's easy to point the finger than to take responsibility for your own feelings. Because some of us might not want to hear this, but you choose how you feel. When, you know, people say, I don't want to get hurt. Only way someone can really hurt you is physically. But emotionally, it's a choice because it's based on your perceptions, your attachment, your thoughts, and how you feel. So if I'm putting someone on a pedestal and I look up to them and they say something and I'm triggered, is because of my perception on the energy and the power I gave over to them. You know, because what might motivate you might hurt me, or what might hurt me might motivate you. So we got also be responsible that we are responsible, and we do choose how we feel, whether we know it or not. It's a deep-rooted thing that we're not programmed to know, but the body doesn't lie, and how you feel is real. And also, you know, your intuition speaks to you all the time. You're triggered every day and you won't listen to your intuition. Your intuition has been telling you to leave the job. Your intuition has been telling you to leave the relationship. Your intuition has been telling you To leave your friends, they're not friends anymore. But we don't listen because it doesn't make sense for our mind or our livelihoods or the story we want to create. And let's be honest, some people get married and they get in that marriage and they realize like, whoa, this ain't it. They're so afraid to acknowledge that because everything that happened and everything's involved, right? So we got to be real with ourselves, and triggers, they're real. But the number one thing is when you're your most authentic self and you can be vulnerable about your insecurities, you can never lose. No one can ever take advantage of you when you're just really raw and authentic about everything you've been through and everything you're going through, and say, listen, Jessica, today I had the longest Monday ever. I feel like crap. I don't want to be here on this call. I can care less. I want to beat someone up, blah, 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 right? Great, yes. That's the person I want to show up every day. That's the person I want to coach because you're not sparing me. Now I know we're locked in. We're on the same team. You're telling me exactly where you're at. You know what, Jessica? I respect that. So guess what today we're going to do? We're just going to sit. We're going to play some music. We're going to let it play. And I'm going to ask you a few questions. And if you want to answer them, you can. If not, that'll be our training session. Cool. Great. That's okay. We always feel like we got to show up and be perfect. No, just be authentic. You know, I don't want you to please me. You better please yourself before you please someone else, right? So sometimes it's best, most times, try your best to be your most authentic self. Like, I'm not in a great emotional state. I'm triggered by my mom. Keep telling me to stop dating this, da 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 da, right? Or whatever, right? Oh, she gets on my nerves. That's a trigger. So life is fun when we can look at it from a different perspective. If we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. So, yeah.
I love that. And really, I hear you saying too, like just getting out of our own way, because we're the ones that hold ourselves back. It's so easy to like be like, oh no, I don't have time to do that because of my job, or I don't have time to do that because my kids are so high demand, or I don't have time to do that. I can't do that because of this reason or that reason, where it really is just comes down to focusing, making that time for yourself, prioritizing, again, what it is that you really want, who are you and how are you going to get there, and taking the steps in order to make it happen. You might hurt some people. They might not like that you're setting boundaries for yourself in order to move through that. Boundaries, right? Boundaries, I think, are big with this, because a lot of times I know for my fellow coaches, when we're dealing with customers, their biggest reservation or their biggest excuse really is what it is time, right? I don't have time for that. Well, you don't have time because you're not prioritizing your time. If you really want it, if it's something that you really truly desire, you will make it happen. You will release whatever is holding you back, and you will cling to what is lifting you up and giving you momentum to propel you forward. So people have a hard time with boundaries. So can we touch on that a little bit?
Hey, yes. No does not hurt. Tell them no and they'll leave you alone. You can't say yes to everything. You can't even say yes to everything to yourself sometimes. Listen, I have a high income client. She has 4 kids. None of the kids are older than 4. She has a husband. She runs a big corporation. She has 120 employees. 120. She's the CEO. She's a wife. She's a mom. And you know what she has? A time block sheet where she has to block out time. She has no choice. She got 120 employees running a big time corporation. They're doing really well. She still got to be mom. She still got to be her for her, right? But she makes time. She knows what she wants. She's very disciplined. And guess what? Discipline is tedious. It's not always fun. But she shows up, she gets it done, and she makes it happen. So it goes back to what Jessica said. What do you want? And do you want what you say you want? So boundaries are important because your life, your career, your dreams, your aspirations are important. So it's okay. Listen, I was a people pleaser for 20 years of my life because I was so afraid to lose people because of abandonment issues as a child. I said yes to everybody. So what did I do? Spread myself thin. right? Oh yeah, I got you. I could do this. I could do that. And then when I got home, look, when I leave everyone, they're feeling great. They're happy. They're fulfilled. They took all my energy. When I get home, I'm down. I'm low. I have no energy for myself. I have no one around supporting me, giving to me because I didn't learn how to set strong boundaries and say no. So it was really simple. Learn to say no and stop having so many feelings and emotions attached to saying no to someone you love. Because guess what? If you don't say no and you give them the energy of saying yes, knowing you don't want to do it, you're disrespecting yourself and you're failing them because you're not even able to give them the best you because you're not in the best space to give because you don't really want to do it. You're just kind of just feeling the air and feeling the void. Oh, I guess I'll say yes to the movies. Or yeah, I'll come to your event. Or yeah, I'll come to your bridal shower. Yeah, we can go to dinner. No, I don't want to go to dinner. No, I'm not in the mood this morning. No, I don't want to do that. Take it or leave it. I love you, but I don't feel like it. That is okay. That is powerful. That is strong. And then from there, a person will respect you more the more you create that boundary and start to say no because they get it like, oh, fine. You think they're going to be blow up and be upset. They're like, oh, I get it. I'll get some rest. I'll see you next week. Right? We're creating this narrative that's not even true because we're so afraid of rejection and someone not accepting us or validating us that we're afraid to create the boundary and say no and say, Mom, look, Mom, I can't talk right now. I have very busy meetings. I'll call you, tomorrow night. I love you. Have a good night. It's okay. Mom, you got to understand that. So, yeah, set those boundaries. It's important.
I love that. And I think setting boundaries with ourselves too is really important. Like you said, we speak this narrative to ourselves. We come up with these stories, limiting beliefs, stories that we come up with a story that maybe hasn't even happened yet, which creates fear. Where if we set that boundary for ourselves, you know what? I'm not going to tell myself any story today. The only story that I'm going to tell myself is I'm going to pump myself up. I'm going to find out who I am. I'm going to tell myself that I am amazing and that I'm wonderful and that I'm talented and that I'm all these things and I can go after what I want. And if I have to tell somebody no and they're upset about it, that is their problem, not mine. And that's really, really hard. I know that is so hard. I think Alicia said something about, we should look into the chat here a minute, but she's mentioned something about she just is afraid of what people are going to think if she sets boundaries. And that is hard, especially when we're so conditioned and we're people pleasers and that's just who we think we are at our core, right?
Yeah, I saw that in the chat. So the answer or the thought that comes to mind when you say we care about what people think, it's like, okay, why is so much energy and attachment there for how people think about what's true for you? Right? Like, think about that. But guess what? People gonna think anyway. People gonna think anyway. Listen, I've been in positions where, I have some public success and, everybody who never had an opinion has an opinion. Oh, well, where are you, Tom, Dick, and Jerry? 5 years ago. I was out here struggling, trying to figure it out. But now you have an opinion. I'm sorry. Thank you, but I'm okay. Right? So what I had to learn over my course of my life, what we got to build is our EQ, right? Emotional intelligence, being able to let go of guilt, let go of shame. I had survivor's remorse when I had a little bit of success and momentum because I felt like everybody where I come from deserved all the stuff I get from free or deserve the things I get, but they didn't get up at 5 a.m. They didn't go on these auditions or be on these shows and get the emotions all whipped around, right? So we can't put too much emphasis and care on what others think because they're going to think anyway. You could be the best woman in the universe, best person in the world. They still going to have something to say. So you got to do you for you and worry about the rest later because that's just life. We got to be able to get comfortable, but emotional intelligence is important when we're easily triggered, right? By opinions, negativity, and information. Let's think when COVID 2020 happened, someone close to you got it, how did we react? because of our wound that was attached to it. We say, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, right? So emotionally, we're out of whack because we can't control the emotions come through, all because someone texts and say, yeah, I think I tested positive for COVID, which we get, we understand, but we are in control of how we want to respond. We're not going to let the thing control our emotions. We're going to control it. Like, okay, well, just get some rest, drink your water. If you need anything, I'm here. But I'm not going to freak out. I'm not going to get overwhelmed. But that's another blind spot that we're not aware of, EQ. So we can't give too much thought and energy to those things. It is hard. It is challenging. But when it comes up, just be aware and think about, okay, how am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling this? Okay, this is a trigger because I care. Why do I care so much about what they say? There's what they say. You know, there's a quote by Jay-Z, what you eat don't make me, right? You know, their opinion is not paying your bills. Their opinion is not fulfilling your lifestyle. So we just got to get, but we're conditioned, and we just got to learn how to break that pattern and shift the paradigm around caring about what others think. And we'll be okay. But don't beat yourself up if you care too much. It's okay. We all been there. But just have compassion and grace, and slowly but surely you'll come out of it.
Yes, I love that. That's so good. That's just a nugget. And I think too, the more that and I've had this experience over this last year, but the more that we set boundaries in place, the wrong ones will fall away, and you'll want them to, because they're roadblocks. But the right ones will begin to respect you more for doing that. And maybe you'll teach them to do more of that in their own lives. And the more you do that, the more respect that you'll have for yourself, which will give you more power and more momentum to keep pushing forward. So, I mean, that in itself right there, what people think, overcoming that is a transformation within itself. So, I mean, transformation is just such a wide topic, which I just love it so much. We could just be on and talk about it all night long, right? But I feel like we've gotten some really good nuggets tonight. So I would love to dig into the comments and touch on that a little bit. So
Jessica, I was saying too, also to make it easier, and this is people open to, you can have people just come on and ask their question like on Zoom, and we can just respond, if that's okay.
Yeah. Mackenzie, are you comfortable doing that, babe? Maybe. Here she is. You got to unmute yourself there.
Yes. Okay, I'm sorry. We have a puppy who has a tampon. Okay, that may be TMI. Okay. Hello, everyone. So, yeah, this is my dog. This is what happens. So, okay, ask the question again.
Oh, just what you put in the chat.
Oh God, yeah, just.
You had said, so I was diagnosed with breast cancer. This trauma is blinding, and triggers are so blinding that I feel overwhelmed at times.
Like it is one of those things for me. Just there are things like he has a tampon in his, and so it's just things just like just things that used to be like I can have them roll off my shoulders or my back. Like it's no more. Oh, come.
So it's hard for you. What I hear you saying is it's hard for you to let things just roll off your back now. You'd feel like you're more sensitive to what, like people judging you.
Yeah. It's just like things that like shouldn't be upsetting are upsetting. It's hard. See, this is why I can't do these things.
It's okay, girl.
But no, it's like in trying to figure out that trigger before it happens is hard.
Yeah. Well, I think that, I mean, just you getting emotional and having that emotion, you're aware of it, and that's great. And digging down to why is it upsetting you? Asking that tough question, and it may not come to you right away, but like Eric said, you know, he went to the park and he would meditate for like 10 minutes and then ask himself a question. Then, and if he needs to pull back and sit and be quiet for a little while and then come back to it, it might be good for you to every morning just sit and journal and just ask those questions. Even though they may seem repetitive every day, something new might come to you. That's kind of my 2 cents. What do you think, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, thank you. I just want to say thank you for your courage, just showing up. And that's why I wanted people to speak, because what we don't understand, we don't look at it that way. What we reveal, we heal, right? When you go to therapy, what do? You're communicating, you're talking. So thank you for your vulnerability. Thank you for opening up. Thank you for sharing this space with us, because this is why we're here. This is a we thing. This is community. We all here to go through things. But I think more important for you is to realize that you're a human being before anything. You're not perfect. You're not here to please anyone outside of yourself. And you get to create the life you see for yourself by which you choose to believe, right? And that's why journaling, stillness speaks, being still, meditating, praying, finding time to, like, you know, when you journal, is mental release, it's mental therapy. You letting the energy that's in you, your thoughts out. Thoughts become things. Let's get those thoughts out. Okay, cool. I'm feeling triggered right before it happened. Why do I care about this? And whatever comes out, just let it come out. Oh, because I'm trying to hold on to a relationship I don't really want, but I don't know how to let it go because I'm afraid if I let it go, they're going to hate me. It's like, no, that's not true. But I understand how it might be true for you in this moment. So that's why you have to connect with yourself to realize, okay, I'm creating this narrative and giving meaning to this. Look, we give meaning to everything. I have this thing over here, but this is not something, it's a reality, but I can change it if I change the way I look at it, right? My younger brother, like I said, I'll share something. He diabetic 2 years ago. He's only 18 at 16. But my dad and his mom, because they don't have the same mom, they had a divorce, right? So they got a divorce, and he felt like it was his fault, right? That he was the reason because of it. So I'm gonna go back to this book, right? And when I looked in the back of the book for diabetes, I'm like, something ain't right. I'm telling my dad, I'm like, it has to be the marriage. So if I look at diabetes in this book, it reads, where's it at? Diabetes is the problem, the probable cause, longing for what might have been, a great need to control, deep sorrow, no sweetness left. So these are the emotions my younger brother is feeling. So that in turn, that emotion, that energy of those thoughts and those emotions comes in his body. Now he becomes whatever diabetes is, right? So then it says, new thought pattern. This moment is filled with joy. I now choose to experience the sweetness of today. Reps and sets. Repetition is the mother of skill. The more we write down our thoughts and we get some new affirmations around this wound, around this ailment, whatever it might be, we can shift the paradigm. We can shift the energy. We can heal ourselves. We don't have to take on a pain with the doctor and the people and everyone's worried. We don't have to take on that energy. We can rebuke that energy and change based on how we look at it, how we think about it, and say, what's good about this right now? I'm gonna become more powerful. I'm gonna be able to help someone else, but I'm not gonna own it where it controls my existence. And yet, Mackenzie, you're right, it is hard. It's not supposed to be easy because transformation is not easy, right? Metamorphosis, the caterpillar becomes the butterfly. Just not gonna get there because you wanna get there. You gotta go through some type of pain, some type of challenge, some type of adversity, so you can get your miracle season. And then you can talk about it, and you can be on the stage in front of 20,000 people, 30,000 people, transforming them through your story. It's always bigger than us. But sometimes we shoot ourselves in the foot because we think we're bad or we did something wrong. Why this happened to me? No. You've been chosen for a special reason to help someone else heal and evolve. But got to be around the good energy, the positivity, and you got to think differently about what's going on. And this is why we're here. So thank you once again for sharing it. It was so beautiful that you opened up, because I was touched. I'm like, damn, I just want to give her a virtual hug, like big love. We're here. This is what we're here for, like we can't do this alone. So thank you.
Thank you. Yes. I heard everything you said, so thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Matt.
Welcomes. Yes.
Does anybody else have any questions or anything that they'd like to add to any of this? No one.
I mean, ask anything. Don't be, listen, just.
No, really? Come on, somebody.
Anything. Like, it can be anything. Like, you can be like, well, whatever's on your mind. I always say, whatever's at the top of your mind, just ask it and just go from there. And if not, I get it. But I appreciate it.
What about my buff? My buff,
Can
you got
you hear me, Jess?
Oh, Natasha, yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to share something with you too. It's just I feel for so much. I feel wanting to address your, maybe that's something like saying you can journal even at the end of the day, go that have triggered you, and it down to lessons. You don't have a lot of control over what's happening in your body, thing
Hold
like
on,
that
hey,
right now.
Tosh. You're really crackly and kind of breaking up.
Oh, I'll message her.
Do you want to try again? Do you feel like it was your headphones? Do you want to try without your headphones in and see if that, no? Okay. What about you, Buff? I know I'm putting you on the spot. You have anything?
Hi, Eric. I'm Buff. I have always felt, or at least in the last couple of years, going through transformation and kind of digging into a lot of the more difficult parts of, who I am and why I am. But I have found gratitude to be a huge piece of healing a lot of that. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, gratitude is everything. Gratitude is the attitude, right? I think when you were talking, the thing that came up is inner child, right? We all have this inner child that needs to be loved, that needs to be hugged, that needs attention. And as we get older and we expand, we forget that we still have that inner child inside of us. And so gratitude is the beautiful way to kind of alleviate some pain, to think of things differently. I don't know if you ladies on this call read the book Tuesdays with Morrie. You read it, right? It's a great book, and it talks about a young kid who had a teacher, a professor who later in life got a little sick, and he was on this, talking out loud. He was just saying, some days you should just sit still and just watch the wind blow and watch the leaves fall on the ground and watch the birds chirp and just be present, be still, and think about what are you grateful for. Every day I get up, I have gratitude statements that I write and I say out loud. The word thank you is so important. We should say it all the time. Thank you. Instead of saying thanks, thank you. Thank you for the blue skies. Thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for this Zoom call with these beautiful people. Thank you, universe, for sunlight. Thank you. The word, the vibration of thank you is so powerful. We're giving gratitude and saying thank you. And the more we in that vibration, that frequency, our bodies slowly but surely heals. Because we're not focusing on what we don't have or what we can't control. We're just giving energy to what we do have. Thank you for all my senses. Thank you for giving me the eyes to see, the ears to hear, sense to smell, right? And so I would recommend, everyone on this call to have a gratitude journal or, do it every morning. I do it every morning when I wake up. I pray, I meditate, I do affirmations, and I got gratitude statements. And it's beautiful what it'll do to your soul. just start feeling like, damn, like, oh, man, thank you. You know, you just be like, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And it's energy. And things will start to turn and shift and you'll be in a better place. So that's a great point. Thank you. Thank you, right? See? You know, you can't lose a thank you. God damn, thank you. We feel great. Gratitude is the attitude. So yes, what are we grateful for? That should be something you guys should write down. What are you grateful for? I know for me, it's just this opportunity to just speak to people that, you know, I don't know, but it feel like I know them forever. I'm grateful for that. You know, I'm able to share something that I was part of my journey to help someone else in their journey. That is transformation, right? So we in this together. Together, we can do more. We can be better, and we can do whatever we want. I'm grateful. So thank you.
I am very grateful too. I'm very grateful for all of the faces on this call. Thank you for joining, Eric, my new friend. Thank you for saying yes to this opportunity, for blessing me every day on social, and for blessing all of us on this call tonight. I really appreciate it.
Somebody else has a question? I'm sorry.
Let's see.
If I may, I don't know if you're looking at me or not. I did have my hand up. Okay. Hey, Eric, and thank you again. I say thank you also. I've been listening to all of your inspirational quotes, like I see Amanda too, taking notes in her journal, trying to capture all the cool sayings and phrasings that you've been dropping, these nuggets of knowledge. Just one more plug for your book, 100 Days of Wisdom, which I am going to take a look at now. I was just like hearing you speak. I'm like, oh yeah, that's good. So how, like, what inspired you? Obviously our lives, like we pick up different things from different people that we meet along the way, but for you personally, who has led that drive for you, or where do you gain that strength, wisdom? Like, where does that come from?
Pain, literally pain. Growing up, you know, in the inner city of Baltimore, you either sell drugs or you play sports, right? So basketball was my sport. The men in my family sold endless drugs. You know, they ran the neighborhoods. You know, you see a lot of negative things growing up, but I knew at 15, there has to be something more than just playing basketball and selling drugs, right? Mm-hmm. But the biggest pain came from not getting the love from my mother, right? Being emotionally abandoned. So as a kid, I didn't get that affection, I didn't get that love, I didn't get that attention. So what I did was I turned my pain into power. So I'm like, okay, cool. Mom's not giving me that. I'm gonna go give that to everybody else, right? So everything I wanted from my mom, I became for everybody else. I knew how to listen to you. I knew how to talk to you. I knew how to love you. I knew how to give to you. I knew how to take care of you. So I'm like, cool. I'm not gonna let my pain bring me down. I'm gonna let it bring me up. So what that created was that people pleasing, right? Because I was afraid to lose people. But it made me strong where I knew how to take care of people. I just didn't know how to let people take care of me, right?
Man, deep.
So I knew how to give. I didn't know how to receive. But what happened with my book and just the inspiration and motivation, I was so angry, right? I was angry for change. I went to school, I graduated, I got graduated with honors from college. I'm like, yes, boom, moved to LA, booked the one-way ticket, and boom, I could barely get a job. What? I graduated with honors, like I did the right thing. I left the city. I'm a good kid, what's up? Los Angeles, like, we don't care. It humbled me. And it's like I had to start over. I came here with $1,000, I knew one person. And then from I just figured it out. I figured I did every job. I went through every emotion, but I was so angry because I'm like, I'm tired of being this way. I want to change. What do I need to do? I need to read books, YouTube, Think and Grow Rich, As a Man Thinketh, The Secret. Like I was just hungry for change. So I was just seeking information, going to seminars, studying people. Like what do rich people do? What do successful people do, right? And then so slowly but surely people would come into my realm, help me, inspire me. And I just took that information and that energy and I just put it in something positive. Because honestly, my positivity was my coping mechanism for my pain. Because I was covering it up. I was suppressing my emotions because I didn't want people to know what I was going through because I was taking care of everybody, but I really was in pain. Then I got older and I started got therapy and started just really healing. healed that wound with my mom and my family through TV though. That's the thing, like the power of TV, like it actually healed me. And it was kind of like bittersweet, but it made me appreciate everything I went through when I was a child, right? Everything came full circle, and all the attention and love I wanted, I started getting from strangers, right? It's like, oh, God's like, oh, I'm gonna bring it right back around. I got you, don't worry about it. But sometimes on our journey, we lack patience and we just want to stop and give up. We don't even know what's on the other side because it's hard, but just kept going. I kept moving, I kept evolving, I kept praying, I kept believing. And things just start happening. So the key to all of us is to never give up, to never quit, to keep fighting, keep looking for signs where I know there's something greater. You know, I always say something's greater later. This is not the moment. If it is, it can change. What am I willing to do? I'm willing to work and figure it out. And you know, it's crazy what pain and anger can do for you if you use it right. Change your life. So that's what really happened.
That was a beautiful answer, and respect for how you did shape that, how you changed that. And all of us can take away from that as well. Just even reframing just a single day, you know, bad week, whatever it may be. Yeah. So yeah, thank you.
No problem. You're welcome. And by the way, language, words, diction, word choice, change your language, right? Because when you change your language, you change your attachment and your feelings towards something. So I don't say, I say, what's the word? Problems. I don't have problems. I have challenges. Or I don't have bad days. I have different days, right? Word choice. We have to change the language we use with ourselves. You don't say, oh, I'm stupid for doing that. No, I made a mistake and I can learn from it. That also helps. Word choice.
I get to. Yeah,
I get to. Yeah, language is important. So, but thank you. I appreciate the question.
All right, Haley, did you have something to say?
Sure. Basically on transformation and change. It's not really a question, but just feedback. I've gone through like changes. I have little kids, 2 are in school and 1 I still have at home, but I'm in that transition of like, I have no one napping anymore. And I have not been able to, I felt like I haven't had the time to give towards this business. I have been working part-time. I'm a hairstylist as well. So I get that time outside of the home to work. But I'm feeling like my husband was asking me like those questions, like, what do you want? Who are you? And what, like, you have a talent and you have skills. And he kind of said, like, what do you see yourself doing in the future? And so, I still want to continue to do hair, but I told him, and I like know in my heart, like, Beachbody, I will never leave. And I think this is like, for all of us coaches, we've had success and we've had ups and downs, but this is like the kind of self-care that everybody needs. Like, this is something that I do for myself. I take the time to work out. I take the time to take care of my body and nutrition. And I think it's something that's so many people need in their life, especially mothers. And I like really answer that question last night, that even though I'm going through a change where I see, summer coming and like really working the business has been difficult, but just I became a coach because I just felt like this was just something that I could share. This was part of my everyday life, and that I still want to help people and how it's helped me and sharing that. So I think like, I never want to leave, but it's definitely been a hard change that's happening, and like really figuring that out and like continuing to push myself to still believe in this. And like, I think we all have that like judgment of like how people see you and how you present yourself. Not that I really care, but like really looking at it as like, it's just been tough because I don't, we're never trying to be like that. It's not an MLM. I mean, it is, but it's also just really sharing in an authentic way and being your authentic self, and really kind of working through and seeing that.
That is beautiful. Thank you for sharing. The question that comes to mind for you is, when was the last time you took a break and you just enjoyed you for you? You just didn't do anything. Do you take breaks for you? Like, it can be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, like, because sometimes we get in businesses and we do things, we feel like I get that sometimes. I feel like I always got to be doing, right? And we create that human doing, and we're not a human being. We're not being it. We're trying to do it. So then we can't become it. So let's just take all the stuff, your mom, your wife. When was the last time you spent some time, you took a break? And what do you value the most in life? Without anything, what's the most valuable to you? And I think that will kind of assist you into having more, not motivation, but more of a different drive to the business and doing hair. You won't put so much emphasis or pressure on it. You're just like, well, today I'm going to take me a break, right? and honey, kids, let's go get some food, and maybe I'll take a week or two off from beach bodies. Maybe I'll give myself a break, because sometimes we feel like the more we do, the more we get, but usually sometimes less is more. You might gain more by saying, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays, I'm going to dedicate to beach body. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, I'm going to do hair, right? I don't know what your schedule is, but don't put so much pressure on yourself, because you're doing everything you can. Give yourself some grace, have some pace, and enjoy being you. You work hard, you work out, you have kids, you have a husband, you live an American dream, right? To most people, but you might not feel that. There's a quote that says, success without fulfillment is failure. So it's cool to do everything, but if you don't feel good about it, if you're not getting that fulfillment, maybe it's time to just take a break for a minute, just take a step back and say, let me just take a few days off. Like, sometimes I'm like, you just need to stop going to the gym for 3 days, just see what happens. Why do you feel like you got to work out you work out all the time, brother? Take a day or two off, man. See what the universe gives you. The universe might have a gift for you, but you might be in the way of it because you feel like you got to keep putting on and putting out, which I get. I'm that way as well. But just find time for yourself and nurture you for you. Say, honey, I'm going to the spa. Kids will see you when they get back. Whenever you have your time, go get a body scrub. Like, do something that makes you happy for you, and then you probably feel different about everything. But I don't think you should put too much pressure on yourself, because from you talking, I can tell you're showing up. I can tell you're doing the best you can for what you have. You might not be getting what you want. However, you're doing the work. So, it's okay. Love yourself, hug yourself, like, be proud of you, because sometimes there's a quote that says, in life, it's not really about the home runs. The home runs don't win the game. The small balls do, right? Let's just get on base. Can we get on base? Let's just get on base. Small win. Today, I'm going to cold call or DM 5 people. And that's it for the day. And if you get someone to respond, cool. I got a book, 100 Days of Wisdom. I might put it on my story and say, how many people got my book? Maybe 15 people answer to the poll. Maybe 7 say no. Okay, I'm going to DM 7 people. Hey, I see that you didn't get my book. I send a link and maybe 1 person buy, right? That's all right. I did that part for today. I'm on to the next, right? So sometimes we got to have grace and compassion for ourselves, because we're hard on ourselves. I've been that way most of my life because I didn't have no one pushing me. And my therapist said, if that was your nephew, if that was your son, would you talk to him the way you talk to yourself? I was like, probably not. It's like, right. So just be kind to yourself, love yourself. You're doing great. Thank you for showing up today, and being vulnerable. That's a win. Right? So, hey, I get it. Life can be different and challenging, but it's all because we might not have the information we need to make sense of what's in our mind. So this was a transformation for you. So thank you for being vulnerable. This was amazing.
Yeah, I think that's really great. And I think that we can kind of tie this into like going back to the reason why you joined Beachbody in the first place, right? You wanted to experience a transformation for yourself, right? You had to meet yourself where you're at, which we need to do all the time. We're not in the same space every single day. We're not in the same point every single day. So it's just meeting yourself where you're at in your journey and showing up that way. And if you need to scale back and take a couple rest days, meeting yourself where you're at, scheduling out your week, you know, we overcomplicate it and we get so overwhelmed when we refuse to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Right? Taking care of ourselves and our mental health. That is a big part of Beachbody. We are all here because we wanted to make our overall health and wellness a priority. And it's not just exercise. We all know that it begins in our mind. And so it's taking care of that first and foremost. And just showing up that way. You know, you're teaching your daughters how to do that. You're teaching your clients how to do that. But just meeting yourself where you're at and showing up there every single day, I think is really important. So again, Eric, thank you so much. I am going to just invite all of you. We have a Beachbody open house this Wednesday. So reach out to the person that invited you tonight if you want to know a little bit more about how you can transform your life, because I know your Beachbody coach can help you do that. So if you are interested in our open house on Wednesday, reach out to who invited you and they will make sure to give you the link so that you can find out how you can transform your life.
That's all. That's it. That was beautiful.
Yes.
But thank you. This was great.
Yes.
Transformation, Beachbody. Get your body for the beach. Yep. Summertime is coming. Thank you. Love yourself before anyone else. Do what you can, not what you can't. Human beings, not human doings. We're all good.
Right.
We're breathing, we living, we doing what we can for what we are worth and deserve. So thank you, Jessica. Thank you, team, over everyone here on this call. Everyone have a beautiful night. Remember to set your intentions. Think happy thoughts. Listen to good music. Dance. Make love. Make money. Have fun. Live. You know, sheesh. Some people don't get to live. Let's live.
That's right. Let's take a picture before we leave if we can. Everybody good with that?
Photo op. Okay. Zoom it.
All right. Everybody on that wants to be in the pic. All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Very good. Thank you, Eric. You be blessed.
Be great.
Everybody else, thank you so much. Have a wonderful night.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Yeah.